Anyway, so welcome to class 5, Akashic Records. Today we're calling this class Connecting More Deeply with Your True Identity. How does that sound?
Not
So,
levitation, but what the heck?
no, but that's coming up. And
That's
so,
coming.
uh, and hey, hi George. And so we got into the records in the previous classes, started to explore that environment. We've added different card decks, namely the Akashic Tarot, and then we started moving on to the Mystical Shaman, which we're also going to use today. This is incredible card oracle deck. Plus, to that, adding today another deck for the Divine Feminine reading. And this is the Archaea, the name of female angels, which is very rare and obscure, which is, we wonder, this is a very strange link. It's one of the blind spots just of the culture we're living, which is so over masculinized, which of course has had a lot of people seeking more feminine balance. But oddly enough, even though angels are sort of a more feminine, intuitive energy in by themselves, so there are um, masculine and feminine angels, which is sort of a very relative thing in human terms, but it makes sense, and we will explore that. So we'll explore that um, deck of female archangels by Callista there uh, today. We'll be using that. Also today, we'll be doing reading 3 in your guidebook, reading 3. We just go sequentially week by week in that guidebook. And we will also talk about how to do readings. And I remember George,
For other people, right?
for other people, George was
Right.
asking that a question on that last week, like how do you follow up with the reading? And we've talked a lot in different parts of the classes thus far, in the previous 4 classes, of how to do a reading, some do's, some don'ts, suggestions. So we're going to structure it and go kind of step by step what to do before a reading. If you're working with someone else, you may or may not be in that situation, but some of you we know do or will, and what to do before reading, what to do during a reading with a client, a person you're helping, and what to do after a reading, and how to work with ethics and things as well. So that will be a very important segment, which I will probably edit out and put in a separate place as well, because I think it'll be very important. So there's a lot to explore today. As usual, you may want to have your pen and paper or some kind of recording of taking notes. So let's dive right into the divine feminine and the female archangels, the missing piece.
Sounds good. And what we're going to do, as we often do, is we're going to start by inviting an archangel to support us with a few beautiful breaths. And today I'm going to invite in Archangel, or what they call Archaea. You can call them archangels or Archaea. Archaea Constance, and she is the divine complement of Metatron. So, and they both work, you could say, in a complementary way, obviously, divine complements, uh, together with the Akashic records and many other things. She also has a role, as all the feminine angels I do right now, um, related specifically to the awakening of humanity, because there's such an imbalance between the masculine and feminine, as we all know, in our culture. Um, and it has to be corrected for us to be able to move forward collectively as a society. So we can just start as usual. If you feel like closing your eyes, that would be wonderful. And just breathing in love and light, inviting Archaea Constance to bless us with her light, with her loving female light. And what it says on the card for her is that her role is bringing heaven to earth, which is such a beautiful one. So we can feel that heavenly energy flowing down over us, the beautiful divine feminine light. Just taking a few nice deep breaths of it. And you might find it interesting comparing her vibration to Metatron as kind of the feminine equivalent of his energy. And this feels just to me so kind of luminous and radiant and uh, relaxing, and in a very in a very light way. So just taking that in. And of course, we'll have opportunities to connect with all of these beautiful angels as we go through this course. We can invite her along with Archangel Metatron to be with us today as we focus on the topic of this course, which is the records. Just to start, I wanted to mention again a couple things about her. Um, One of the things that I read about her, it says, because Akashic information exists in a high frequency etheric dimension, it can be difficult for humans to grasp. Constance acts as a stabilizing force that grounds these cosmic records into human reality. Her primary mandate is to help souls, as I said, bring heaven to earth, allowing us to practically apply our soul's ancient wisdom to our present lives. I think that's a beautiful way of describing and distinguishing between the two. It also says instead of letting you just read a record, she helps you emotionally and spiritually to integrate it so you can see your history with absolute truth and self honesty. Well, I would guess more than just your history, whatever is being presented to you. So she's another beautiful being to invite in when you're going into the records, and of course at other times too. So with that, we can begin. Can open your eyes and also always ground ourselves, feeling our connection to Mother Earth. I think it's such a actually feeling that. I wonder if anyone would like to comment on what you noticed comparing what you felt with her energy compared with Metatron, maybe for people who've had more more experience with those things. Did you notice anything, Bonita? Any distinction?
It was a very light energy. It
Yeah.
didn't strong, but I can't pull up a comparison with Metatron.
Yeah. How about you, David?
Yeah, I agree with the light but strong, and kind of Metatron being in your face kind of strength, oh,
Right.
hello.
Yeah. 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 It's interesting. Anybody else? Thank you.
Anything, Jacqueline, on your part? Anything you noticed?
I did. I would have to agree with both David and Bonita. It just the energy felt light but fierce
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, which is
Mm-hmm.
kind of weird. It's just very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I thought it was
Um,
really beautiful. It surprised me. I hadn't actually connected with her before.
yeah, and it was nice.
Yeah,
Nice, gentle,
wonderful.
like nudge. I'm here to support you.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Yeah.
Hmm.
And I think that's one of the things when we're talking now again about angels and why we consider it to be so important for us to connect with these beings at this, especially at this point in history, that I was reminded recently just in all of my own explorations about our what we actually received as kind of a mandate from Metatron was that we needed to access our full range of resources, which are primarily inner resources. And one of the main ones is connecting with angels and masters and beings of light who are always here for us in the higher dimensions and want to support us. And I think this was the first time it really struck me that because they also honor our free will, they can't just force themselves on us and tell us what, what it's about. We have to ask for their presence. We have to ask for their light. We have to call on them when we need their assistance. And what I realized that I hadn't quite realized before is this is the way things are going to change. So when we do it, it's not just for us. We're bringing down this light and it's radiating out into the world. If no one is asking them for help, they can't radiate their light into the world, right? I mean, it just seems obvious now, but it also makes it, to me, more relevant because it is for us. And of course, the blessings, I thought just connecting with her for a moment was a beautiful thing. But there's so much more to it because when we invite them, we're helping the whole. We're allowing them to bring their presence down. And what she's saying, bringing heaven to earth. That's really the essence, I think, in so many ways.
So we're embodying this vibration. We know there are all these higher vibrations and higher energies and almost infinite possibilities available. And we call them resources, or Metatron said full range of resources. So connecting with them, and then once we connect with them, how do we use them in our everyday life and share them and spread the wealth, so to speak?
Right, right. Because we are just inviting them in, we're sharing the wealth. We're actually bringing it down. We're bringing the energy down into the earth itself. Anyhow, I think that that is a beautiful part of it. So, looking at today's topic, the divine feminine, this is one of 5 polarities we explore in our programs. And in the next one, actually, the next spiritual guide course that we're doing after following this one, we go into all 5 of the polarities that we discuss, which includes masculine and feminine, and also some other ones like spiritual, earthly. You could say mind and body, uh, and a few more, a couple more, I guess, which I think for both of us would say working with clients, if I do kind of a check with a person, especially a new client, before our first session or at the beginning of the first session, to have a determination of what it is that is their biggest issue. There are 2 primary things that are their biggest issue. One is that they're not centered, so centering your awareness in your heart, because that clarifies a lot of things. People a lot of times are unbalanced, ungrounded, and and really don't know how to come back to their center. So there's that one, and the other one is polarities, with masculine and feminine being a really important one of the 5 polarities. So that's why we have a whole class oriented towards the masculine and feminine. And I think with that also, there is, of course, the wisdom that we can receive from the cards. And this deck, the Feminine Archangels Oracle deck, the way that we describe it, because we have a lot of decks that we recommend to people, and some may not want to have them all, this one is optional, you could say, but highly recommended. And it is unique, as Philip was suggesting. Where do you find information like this about female archangels? This book, or this oracle deck and book, includes 17 female archangels and 17 male archangels. And then there are other cards. I can just kind of show you. There are 3 cards that are symbols, and they're described in the guidebook. I think that they can be very valuable. You can use them for things other than even readings, like this satellite symbol. I know it mentions that you can use it to balance energies and foods and different things. So that's something worth checking out. There are 3 of those, and I think there are, I think 8 or 10 other cards. And interestingly, that are not archangels, they're something else. I haven't ever been able to find a place where they say what they're for exactly, other than that they are beautiful. They're very beautiful. This is one, the last one in the deck is just called Source, I think. Source, Return to Oneness. Beautiful. They're beautiful cards. There's one for ancestry. I'm assuming they're things that the author considered important. If you're wanting to draw an angel card, this one I think is really beautiful too. New Earth. Share your gifts. If you're wanting to draw archangels specifically, you could just pull those out of the deck, or you can just draw from the whole deck. Whatever you want to do. I always look at all of with all of these things, they're tools and we can use them in whatever way we want. With the reading we're doing today, we're going to specifically use the female archangel, since that's our focus, is the divine feminine. Although it's also worth noting, and I think everyone recognizes, the divine masculine is as important as the divine feminine, with it being so overly masculinated in our culture, and having in this deck each of the pairs, like the first one is Archaea Faith, and she is the divine complement of Archangel Michael, and he's the second one. So they're paired up in the guidebook. You can easily find the two complements and get a sense of how they relate to each other, and also how they complement and enhance each other as we do here on Earth as complements.
Can you
So,
see your hand?
oh yes, Loretta,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, I bought 3 decks, different decks. Which one are you talking about right now?
Well, this might be the fourth one if you don't have it. It's this
Oh,
one.
no, I didn't get that one.
Yeah, there are 4 decks
Okay.
total.
Okay.
And as
Well,
we mentioned, this one, actually, for people who are not wanting to be certified, you can do whatever you want, obviously. This one is the fourth one, but I would highly recommend it for people if it's not an issue for you to buy it, and if you feel drawn to it. I think it is a unique deck. Each of the cards has an angel message, which is a little quote. Then it has expanded meaning, reverse meaning. Then it has something called Rise Like an Angel. And there's a little it's kind of I think like a little process that you can do to connect with the angel and interact with them. So they're all, I think they really are valuable. And it ends with a blessing. So, yeah, I'm enjoying connecting with these. And of course, with the reading that we're doing today, it's an opportunity to connect with a variety of them over time. Something I appreciate about the cards is, I call it circular learning. Instead of like reading a book from front to back, the cards guide you to what is most relevant to you now. So you can start wherever it is that is appropriate for you. It might not start with angel number 1. It might, who knows what it is. It might even start with one of the other cards in the back. But I think it's a wonderful way to learn. And ultimately it feels like it is more efficient, because it is directing you where you really need to go in the moment. And the first reading I did, actually, I think was something like that, asking, let me see, I'm going to share that with you in a little while, what I was asking for. Yeah, just a message for me now for my highest good. And which, if I don't have something specific in mind, is what I might ask, and it can surprise you. I think just finding out what is actually most relevant for you now. It might be something you had never considered. So, any other comments on that, Philip, on the deck or angels, the female archangels? Hi, Hope.
If it looks like an angel and sounds like an angel, probably is.
Right. Yeah. Oh, just another thing, which I guess it's obvious, but the male archangels have generally names with el at the end, which means of God. And then the female angels are qualities. Their names are qualities. And these are all qualities, obviously, of value for us to develop. So with that, I guess we're ready to go on to talking about actually doing the readings.
So this is a special structured segment that if you are working with clients or want to work with other people, here are some important tips on how to do it, which again, we've talked about them already in other classes, but I want to put it in a structured, somewhat step-by-step format. So first, just realize that if you're a spiritual guide, we're calling that, who's working with the Oracle decks, for instance, in the Akashic records, realize your role and perhaps the limitations of your role. Depending on how much healing training you have, that may not be included. We are doing a little bit of healing training in this course too. So you don't want to go beyond things that you're not qualified for. Of course, you're following your intuition as well. And we start with that connection with the truth in your heart. And that's a good, just general starting point. So when you're working with other people, I want to suggest an organized way of doing that, way of consolidating the whole session in your mind ahead of time, kind of a beginning, middle, and end, and also some additional suggestions on how to proceed. So let's start with before the reading. You want to have an intention, which I know you all do, but you might want to make it more deliberative, shall we say, to have the best reading. If you have that in your mind, that might sharpen your awareness and help the outcome. You want to have the best reading. That might include being grounded. Are you rushing in and you're not ready and you're late? Try to avoid that, of course. Be grounded, be ready, free of agendas. You're not trying to prove something like, I really think I need to show the person this or tell the person that, because you want to have instead an open mind and open heart. And I want to point out a reference for you if you want to go further into some therapeutic qualities, as we call them. We have another resource in your resource section, section 3, these other related resources. I'm talking about 3.3. It's a little book we wrote on the heart soul of being therapeutic and therapeutic qualities. We teach more of that in our other course, the heart and soul of coaching and healing, but that's a really good reference if you want to go further into that.
Yeah, I think that can be very illuminating to that book.
Yes.
Exploring different aspects of the self that you want to promote, to bring in, and ones you want not to include when you're supporting others.
Yes, some good do's and don'ts there. Now, right. Another thing to keep in mind is to try as much as possible to keep your health up.
It looks like Philip disappeared here for a moment. There he is. Are you back? You disappeared.
I disappeared. Am I here now?
Yeah, you are here now.
Oop, I'm froze.
Well, maybe you're not frozen here. Just keep talking. I think we can hear you now. Can you hear me? I guess not. We've been working with his computer.
Okay, here we go. We still have that issue, I guess, that I'm have to address.
Yeah, we were hoping he had the computer fixed yesterday, but
yeah, and have to do fix number 2 or whatever.
Like new computers are supposed
anyway,
to be
going back to the topic, you want to be in as healthy and as energetic a state as mind as you can for your session. That could mean what you're eating, good diets, enough sleep, your environment being quiet and distraction free as possible. Another point to keep in mind is do not give medical or legal advice unless you're someone like David, who's a lawyer, or you are a doctor. But he
still can't do surgery.
He still can't do surgery during a session. Yeah, maybe surgery on different levels, right? And also just know that sessions are supposed to be kept confidential, because personal details, intimate things may come up, as you know, in a session, and you want to feel in the session and the client that is safe and guarded and not concerned about it being let out after the session. So that's before the reading, about being in the right state of mind, not going beyond your boundaries and so forth. During the reading, what do you do? Find a focus for the session. And we always do this when we do the demos, like we'll be doing shortly in this class. The focus could be specific, like maybe something about your health or relationships, your career. And we like to do also just your next spiritual steps, or it could be rather general. What's important for me to know today, or what are my next steps generally? How can I spiritually advance? That's a sort of more general approach, which will lead you to the specifics, or the client to the specifics that are right for him or her. Next, describe if you're doing oracle cards, describe the card, the image in the card. You can, and it's nice to be just neutral of what it's looking like, even though the client's seeing it. How you describe things is important. Your language should be rather neutral and descriptive, not trying to inject meaning into things. You also can read from the guidebook for the interpretation of that card. And as you read the guidebook, certain things might stand out in your mind, and they might come as highlights in the way you emphasize or just note them. Now, as you then connect with back to the client, you've read the card, you've gone to the image, you might say something like, what comes to mind for you? Or what comes to you now? Or what's your response? These are nice neutral questions. And then listen very carefully what she says.
Or he.
Or he. And I take notes often of keywords that are said.
Yeah,
and then
I do too.
Then you want to follow the client's lead, which may not be your own lead. You might think, well, she really needs to know about such and such, but she's saying, I want to know about this. So follow her lead. If a time comes up, you may ask a question about something you think that's very relevant. So follow your own guidance to when to ask a question or make a suggestion. And when you phrase things, as you probably know, be kind of gentle. In other words, you're more suggestive, like, would this be a good idea? And be more encouraging for the person to express herself, rather than saying, do this. I think you should do this. I mean, that would be rather extreme, but just to give you a contrast there. Anything you wanted to add, Jane? Yeah.
Yeah, generally we're wanting to follow their lead. We're not, if we're doing readings with people, it's not us telling them about themselves. Because the truth is that the awareness that we have that comes from within ourselves is a completely different level of awareness than if someone tells us something like this reading. If I'd say, well, this reading is about this and this and this, and it's just going into their mind. It's not going into a deeper level of understanding. What we want to do is bring that awareness out of them. And that's something that's different from the ways some people do readings, many people. Actually, I remember recently, or a little while back, I was in a metaphysical store, and in the back there was a woman who was doing a reading with someone, and the woman had some things that she was wanting to manifest, and the person who's doing the reading said, well, look at this card. You're not going to get what you want, but we can't always get what we want. I could, after it went on and on, kind of like that. I was listening for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and I thought, that poor woman, she's going to come out completely deflated. And who knows even how accurate that is. That's another thing. If you know yourself, right? It's true. You know what's true for yourself. And that's what we're trying to bring out of people, not to be, we're not fortune tellers. We're not trying to tell them who they are. We want to help people to discover who they are.
Yeah, and we might pick up tendencies or things that seem to be occurring or will be occurring, and you might suggest that or explore that. But what often happens is a person gets, quote, a reading and takes it as gospel truth and said,
Right.
This is in my future, because how do you know? I have no idea, but the psychic reader told me.
Right.
Any comments or questions about approaching with a client or a person before the reading or during the reading? David.
I have a question, which is, in last night's when you were doing exactly what you're mentioning,
In the
and I
coaching course,
shared,
the other class.
uh,
Yeah. Okay.
but I just got this inspiration, this visualization that was beautiful, and I shared it with her. The golden arrow in the heart,
Yeah, that was beautiful.
um, when do you share that kind of stuff? Because that was pure.
That's a great question. This is my guideline. When do you share something?
Mm,
And this what can seem confusing until you understand this distinction. So you pick up something and you're saying, wow, I'm getting an insight and aha about the client. That's part one. But you want to remember part two, which is, should I share it?
right. Uh, uh-huh.
Which could be a yes or no. And you'll get an immediate yes or no. You may want to share it probably, but you don't. I've had situations where I just got to like, no, now's not the right time because there is a timing about things.
Hmm.
I remember one time I didn't share something and it was a client, it was a repeat client. And at a certain point came back and there was another session and I remembered what I wanted to share and I got a yes. And she said, wow. And she just broke into tears. She was just so struck by me sharing it at that point.
Right. Well, and I think another part about that is how you share it. If you
Yes.
say, well, this I just saw this beautiful image. I wasn't at the class last night, so I didn't know what happened, David, but you could say, I just saw this beautiful image. Would you like me to share it with you? That's one, that's
Mhm.
first getting permission and then saying, and it may mean something, maybe not, but this is what I sensed or what I intuited. And I think as the practitioner, it can be that too, that just that what I'm kind of sensing maybe this is something that's involved, or and I think that's why Philip was saying also you want to be gentle in your description, not authoritative, like, well, and I know this is happening and you never saw it before and you need to know it now. It's not.
Yeah.
That's something to avoid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Buckle up, cowboy, or whatever. Yeah. So the third part would be before the reading, during the reading, now closing the reading, which could be, visitation of the Akashic records or wherever too with the cards, maybe yes or no. I like to summarize the reading. I just look at the cards and they tell a story based on what has gone before and everything we've just talked about. And then I ask, is that accurate? Now, what I'm saying is pretty much using the client's words and my understanding, but just, maybe I'm off. I want to get a solid yes. And, and if I am off, I don't take offense, like, oh, I missed this and I just revise
Right.
it. And I ask the person, do you agree with that summary? Very explicitly. Um, and then do you want to say something more about it? You want to add to that.
Hmm.
So that's a nice kind of closing part. And
Yeah, and
then
you want to get their biggest ahas. What was the biggest in awareness or understanding that you got from it? You know,
when Jane and
that's
I
what's most
first
important.
doing healings, decades ago, we had these very huge and they were very powerful processes. We'd actually do 2 and 3 hour sessions in person, but people would have these incredible breakthroughs and they would leave and it'd be amazing, but we wouldn't highlight it. We would just say that was incredible. That was one of the most amazing things, but we wouldn't say, tell me about it. How was that for you? And when the person verbalizes it, they integrate it and appreciate it themselves. It's like you're in a higher state. And if you don't ground it and connect it to your everyday reality, you may not remember it, appreciate it, integrate it so much. So that's a really good thing. What the summary, how was it for you? And then, as we were talking about last week, what's the next actionable step to follow up the coaching thing? Now, what do you do with that reading? Yeah. And if applicable, and this may not be, you could suggest any references or referrals to professional help, maybe medical or legal if needed. That may or may not apply, but just in case something comes up. Um, any further comments or questions? I have one more part about ethics here, but anyone want to mention anything further? Jacqueline?
I guess I just want a clarification, or if you could elaborate, if you have a sitter that says, I mean, like if I were to ask, did you agree with this summary? What were your thoughts? What's your, takeaway from this? And they were like, doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, generally, my summary is based on largely what they've said, because if you're following the approach we're doing here, it's very interactive. It's
Okay.
not, it's not me like a psychic reader. I told them A, B, C, D, E. Do you agree with that? I've made maybe a couple suggestions. They've talked a fair amount,
Okay.
and I'm actually summarizing what they said pretty much. So it's not a
Right.
Okay.
big
Yeah.
stretch.
Yeah.
Okay, got that. Okay.
Yeah. And
Okay,
you
thank
could
you.
just say something like, how do you feel about that?
Mhm.
Just whatever, however you would want to phrase it.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
it
Yeah.
is
that
a
makes
way
sense.
it is a way for them to bring the whole thing together.
Yeah, it's a
Right.
very good deepening and integrating practice to do that summary.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. And the final part
Terry
about,
Terry has her hand
oh,
up.
Terry, go ahead. Sorry.
Thank you. I have a question. Because I also take notes or do a follow-up when I've worked with people in the past. How how long do you keep your notes? Do you have a file on someone? I mean, so that you have a reference when someone comes back.
Well, what I do keep notes and have files, physical files. That's the way I
Yeah.
like to do it. And
Okay.
the way I actually do my sessions, and I don't know if Jane really does this, is um, I take notes during the session on the computer on an open email, and I send the notes to the person.
No.
So I also have I have a record that way, and then I print that out and put it in their file. That's how I like to do it. I've just found that the best way to summarize it, just because recordings are too lengthy. I mean, I wouldn't want to get a recording because there's a lot of downtime and dead time. That's a lot of time. But if someone can say, here's, the 20 sentences that are the key points of our session, that's very valuable, I find, in a quick reference for me and for the client.
Okay. Thank you.
Did you mention the psychic, the other book?
That's just where I'm going now.
Oh,
So
okay.
the one last part is ethics, just to be aware of that. And again, this may not even be an issue, but it's something to be aware of. We have this book called The Ethical Psychic that we read. We thought was a very good, easy to read book. You can get on Amazon. And I'll put actually a recording of this part of probably the audio or the video into this section after this class, so that you'll see that later. But let me just give you a couple key points from that book by Jennifer Lisa Vess. I think she has sort of an Indian shamanic background. She's also a PhD from her book. And she oh, George, do you have a comment? Why don't we just bring you in, because maybe this is the time. George, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know. I think you're on a different track now, but I was going to say a little something based on doing client sessions, right? I mean, I don't have any experience with that other than that I did one very informally for my sister, which led to stuff, but I mean, it was good. But for my own benefit, I've been doing a lot. I mean, I've really taken to this oracle reading stuff. And I find that it's a journey of self-reflection, like every time, right? And trying to discover how the sentences and phrases and keywords in the guide text apply to me. And I wouldn't want to take that process away from a client. I would want to actually help guide them through it if they're unfamiliar with it, because it's very valuable, right? And you know a lot more if you discover it for yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and that's the way we we do it.
Yeah.
Is we, for instance, reading from the guidebook and then asking them what they get from that and looking for those aha moments that it's like, oh, I got something here.
And
Yeah.
just, did you
Well,
finish there? Did you complete, George?
well, not quite. I mean,
Go ahead.
so the other thing is, I don't know how to how you would deal with this, but so my sessions with myself, my one-to-one with myself, they tend to be sometimes fairly short, sometimes very lengthy. In fact, I had one where I just did the reading at night before I went to bed, and I said I wasn't interested in going into great depth with it, but I wrote down what the question was, the inquiry, and what two cards I got, and because I broke the question down into two parts, and then I went back the next day and I interpreted it, but I didn't get finished. I went back the next day and tried to finish, and I thought I was finished, and then an hour later I thought of something else and I added that. Well, it turned out to be the most profound reading I've done for myself,
Mhm.
but how long would that take? And if I were doing it with a client, I mean,
Well, you have to it's sort of like once you're managing the time, so you kind of have
yeah,
a sense of, just like this class. I mean, we could have this class going for 3 hours or four
sure,
hours, but we have to manage the time, and sometimes we have to be a little abrupt just to keep things
yeah.
on track.
I guess if you sense that you were only half done, you could suggest a follow-up
Exactly. It
session.
could be
Yeah,
part one of, yeah, let's follow up. And I say something like, we can only get to so much today, and we can
Right.
follow up with that. And that's often the
Mhm.
case because, especially in a first session, a lot comes out and you can only address so much, especially when you're starting and there's a lot to cover.
okay, thank you.
Okay. And the last, I just want to give some brief key points from that book by Jennifer Lisa Vest, The Ethical Psychic. Um, One is that she highlights what she calls service over self. So um, you don't want to have agendas, as we said, trying to prove something, and you want to be serving the other person. That's everything you're doing is for the other person. And again, they might have a different focus or priority than you do. And part of that also is having a sort of a sense of humility. Uh, uh, and that's could be a shamanic term in itself. She calls it a hollow bone approach, and that's an Indian term, I think, or shamanic term that means spiritual surrender and humility, um, without personal agendas, kind of being a vessel. You're allowing things to come through you without trying to control things or manipulate things. She also recommended it as an ethical practice, and I mentioned, is knowing your limits in case something, or not only are you maybe not trained in something, maybe it's an area which you're not really ready to be a sort of a guide or counselor for. Like if you're in a sort of besieged by grief and in a very grief-ridden state, maybe you're not a good person to help another person who's with grief. Whereas if you've been through grief or you've integrated a lot of it, you could be very helpful. So you kind of want to check where you are in relationship to feeling clear and strong and confident to help that other person. And another thing is, you don't want to have the client be dependent on you, which is sort of that psychic reader empowerment, disempowerment idea. You want them, as we've said, to bring out their own inner knowing and have be their own resource, and you're there to help them and be a one, and you may do multiple sessions with them, but the idea is not to have them dependent on you for answers. So those are a couple key points from the ethical psychic. Anything before we conclude that segment of the class today on working with clients?
One thing I wanted to say, and it's kind of in relation to what George was asking about working with other people, the demonstrations we do with you, all of you are examples of how we would work with a client.
Right.
So just generally, we'll describe the card, we'll read the guidebook, we'll ask what's meaningful to you. So those are all examples of, obviously, with a limited amount of time, but But that's how we approach everyone.
Right. So that's working with clients, working with others, and the ethical psychic or the ethical reader, counselor, spiritual guide. So that takes us to our readings and our experiential part today. Jane?
Right. And so we're going to obviously do the reading with the female archangels. Philip will be doing it here in a few minutes. It's reading number 3. I think I'll bring this up for you. Where is share?
I have it here. You want me to bring it up?
No, I want to do it because I want to be able to move it around.
Okay.
So let's see. I think this is it.
And it's the guidebook is in your section 1.8 again, Oracle Readings Guide 1.8. And this is the 3rd chapter of 1.8.
So are you seeing that now?
Yes, we got it.
It's an odd thing with Zoom. I can't see what you're seeing.
Right.
So it is reading number 3, Embracing the Divine Feminine. Has some good information about feminine, female archangels. And then 2 approaches, which the basic one often is just using a single card and interpreting that, which is good for people who are busy or just really want to focus on the angels. Then there is the 3-card reading, which is what we'll be doing. And this one, it suggests using, we're going to do one with a central focus, which will be an archangel for you to connect with. It suggests also using the Good Tarot. We're going to use, I think Philip already mentioned, the mystical shaman. We've already used it, and it works really well. In fact, all of the 4 decks in this course, they complement each other, all of them, really beautifully. So you can use any of them actually with the female archangels. You could use the Akashic Tarot. So it's just a matter of choice. So that's the 3-card reading. And the way it describes it, which is, this is something new kind of to you, I think, is we have the central focus card, and then you're going to draw 2 cards, one on each side of the central focus card, without any description of what the card's for. So it's not like past, future, or what you need to know, what you need to do, although you could do that too. But we're going to use this approach because, well, for one thing, it's something that you can experiment with. And it is actually a way to develop your intuitive gifts and understanding what the story is behind it. Philip mentioned earlier that readings become stories, that you can find out what the story is. And I'm going to give you an example here in a moment. So I'll stop this share. Any general questions about that, what we're doing? Okay. Okay, so I did a reading on this, and what I need to do is I'm going to change to my other camera where I have it laid out. And I think I mentioned I have here, it's my description of the whole thing. So this was a message for me now for my highest good. And starting, I'll just take actually these away, starting with the archangel. And here is the other camera. Okay, so there she is. And what I got is Archangel Radiant, and she is the complement of Archangel Michael. She's actually the number 1 card. So it says, each one has a little message right at the bottom. It says, raise your standards is the message. And then you can go into it further. What I noted looking at that was I had recent connections. I was making connections with the sun and the God, you could say the soul of the sun, Helios and Vesta, the beings who are just like Gaia is of the earth. Helios and Vesta are for the sun. So what it meant to me with radiance just immediately is letting my radiant shine because what I'm sensing as just personally is that it is my goal to radiate light right now, because I think people need a lot of light. And I do weekly meditations and obviously classes and things. So that would be a focus for me. So this is about radiating my light. And also, along with that, what do you call it? Now I can't think of the word. What is the, Philip, you know what I'm talking about.
I'm not
Some-
sure what you're referring to yet, so I
well,
can't.
it'll come back to me. Anyhow, never mind. I don't know why the words are just not coming to me right now. Anyhow, it has to do with radiating light and helping people to wake up and to raise their vibration. So I drew the other two cards then around it. And so the first one I got was the Holy Mountain.
Mm.
And that immediately made me think of going to that. Of course, we go to that mystical mountaintop, is going to that. I need to go to the mystical mountaintop. And then the third card was soul retrieval.
Those are mystical shaman cards, the other
Yeah,
two,
these
right?
are the mystical shaman cards. So I need to, and I understood it as go into the records and find there's a piece of my soul that I need to bring back into my awareness. Yeah, it was. So it actually, now I remember the term, which is really crazy that I didn't before. So bringing down light and light codes. So there are light language, there are light codes. So we can invite light codes to come down, and they provide us with information and help us to raise our vibration. So it is related to that. I would say too, I saw it as having to do with that, making that connection with sunlight, and vibrating that out into the world, and then having that soul retrieval element. And it actually was, it was a very meaningful connection. Then I went up into my records, which I think I've told people I call my heavenly home, because it's kind of like I go there for everything. I'm going to switch back now. So I went up there, and Helios and Vesta were up above. There are a lot of times beings will show up for me, and then they took me on a journey out into the universe to show me some things. So it actually was a really profound reading, and came from no expectations of anything, actually, all of that. So it was a really valuable one for me. So any questions about that, how to lay that out, and how you might interpret the different cards that you get? I think it's just, to me, it's just very intuitive. It just kind of comes to you.
Yeah, this will develop your intuition doing this reading, as we'll explore here momentarily.
Mm-hmm. It also, it takes you beyond that point of, if you already have determined what the cards are, what if the cards want to be something else?
Right.
Like if you're saying past and future, that wasn't past and future. It wasn't, it wasn't what I need to know and what I need to do. I guess you could say what that would fit in, but I think it's a wonderful, very freeing way to look at the cards. And the stories, they can be very magical. And then, of course, going into the records, yeah, who knows what's going to happen then? It could be anything.
Yeah.
So with that, I think Philip is going to do a demonstration.
Yeah, so we'll have a volunteer, and we'll just open up the records and see what's going on with an archangel, female archangel, divine feminine reading here. And we can just start with a general approach, what I need to know spiritually today, or if there's something specific, we can look at that too, if it fits. So that takes us to a volunteer who's going to be the volunteer. just thinking, and these are just, you're free to say no to this. I'm just wondering if Jacqueline or Hope or either of you, you haven't done a volunteer for a while. If you feel open to that, Jacqueline, you okay? You good? Okay, great.
Yeah, I'm open to it.
You're open. Yeah, good for you. So, do you want to do just a general kind of my next spiritual step? What do I need to be aware of, or
Yeah.
something more specific?
Yeah, I like that. No,
Okay,
something what I need to,
what do I need to know? So
yes.
we start, I'm gonna bring up my second camera so we can get a clear view of the cards. And we start with an archangel. I divided my deck. I sectioned out the female archaea, as they're called,
Right.
female archangels. And even though it's called female archangels, the deck does have male archangels too. So we'll get a special angel for you, Jacqueline, and it'll, of course, the energy will radiate out to us all. And these kind of light codes, as Jane was saying, these light activations. Whoop, that one's, well, that one flipped out. Well, maybe that's the one.
That
Okay.
usually means something.
Yeah, that was was that captured on camera, that flip?
No, well, it was kind of half on camera, half off.
Yeah, I literally shuffled the deck and this card popped
Just
out, turned over
popped
on
out.
its own, almost like it
It
flew
turned
on.
over.
Yeah,
That's
so
good.
I think this is a sign. Archaea Serenity, weave a new story. Jacqueline, you're going to weave a new story. And let me read the guidebook, or part of the guidebook, and what stands out to you about what number 31 Archaea, and this is serenity, which is a beautiful term too.
Yeah, it is. Oh, as a note, I forgot to mention when I did that reading, I did also connect with Archangel Radiant or Archaea Radiant, and I
Yeah,
got messages from her too.
and if you can, I can channel messages. So I could, if you want, channel a message for you too, Jacqueline. And that's a little different than giving advice. That's just bringing energy through you from a higher realm. It's kind of like visiting the Akashic records. It's listening to that vibration and letting it come through you. If you can do that, which is just something I have a gift for. Okay. Change your story, create a new chapter instead of rereading a previous one is a little tagline with this card. So Archaea Serenity, derived from the Latin term serentium, meaning clearness, serves on the black ray of transcendence and potential, with the counterpart is Archangel Cassiel. Serenity reminds us that softness is a strength. Being soft helps us lessen our defenses so we can find balance during difficult times. Mm-hmm. While Cassiel escorts us through fear, serenity is our anchor point. She helps us turn challenges into triumphs by revealing the underlying gift of all situations. Ask serenity to transform any mental stories of unworthiness and victimhood you may be carrying. And if you see a spider serenity symbol in your space, know it's appearing to help you break free of a fearful belief. When you release the spider back into nature, say aloud the belief you're releasing too.
That's interesting.
Invite Archaea Serenity for understanding all perspectives, transforming victimhood and dualistic thinking, overcoming illusion, fantasy, fear, drama, and doubt, instilling peace and balance. Interesting about the spider and spider's web. Thank you, fear, for showing me where I need to let the light in. As I relax, all softens, for I am serenity. So that is that very solid feminine space inside. It's very, the archaeas tend to be very internal, but strong, resilient, and that term soft is a good term too. So again, like we said in the reading, I then ask, what is coming to mind for you, Jacqueline? What does this bring up for you?
It definitely hits on the nose. Yeah, let's see, definitely going through a transition right now into a new journey, along with my son. So it's, I think this is the fourth time I've heard in the last 2 weeks to go within and really practice, uh, being peaceful. And my power is in the slowdown,
Hmm.
and being very
Hmm.
intentional with slowing down and being patient is where I'm going to find my power.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
So, um, Jane, would this be a good time to get a message if Jacqueline wants from uh, Serenity Angel, or should we save that
I
for
would
later?
wait and see what the other cards say.
Let's see what
I'm
unfolds.
curious what the
Yeah,
story is here.
the story. This is weaving a story, and we're going to the mystical shaman, which this is to me one of the most perfect decks. Most of the decks have something that seems a little we'd wish to be improved, Jane or I, and without getting into those details. But this deck is almost flawless. It has just so many things that are so good. Okay, so I'm picking two cards. This is very intuitive, and we just let them weave their story to help you write your own story, Jacqueline.
Okay.
And and they're not necessarily. I'm picking them in sequential order, but they're not necessarily first or second. Oh, the middle world. The
Mm.
gather and the middle world.
Mm.
Interesting. The colors are similar. The gather and the middle world. Let me
What number
read.
is the gatherer?
The gather is 21 and the middle world is 36. And again, they may not be sequential just as you're intuitively picking up, things that are not necessarily left brain orderly. But let me read a little bit about what they mean in the guidebook about a gatherer. So something's gathering here. And the essence of that is uh, before we cultivate grains, we collect the wild bounty of nature. The gatherer finds abundant seeds, nuts, berries, and wild greens where the ordinary person sees only barren soil. Mhm. The gatherer is the provider, the forager, and the gardener who collects roots and vegetables for the long winter when game is scarce. She does not hoard, trusting the bounty around her. So it's suggesting that you look at the resources you already have close at hand and that this is a time of abundance.
Mhm.
Okay.
Did you want to read the rest of the invitation?
Um, this is a time of abundance. Everything around you is ripe and ready for harvest. Banish the notions of scarcity that have limited your choices. Pack your food for the winter and start with the low-hanging fruit that is all around you. What's coming to mind for you, Jacqueline?
Um, yeah, I mean, the first thing that came to mind is when you read Banish the Notions of Scarcity.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge right now for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a gentle reminder, like banish that notion. Get rid of
Hmm.
it.
Go for the low-hanging fruit.
Yes, yes. Yeah, so it's a beautiful reminder.
And finally, the other card is the middle world. The middle world. And of course, this is coming from a shamanic tradition, as you may know. And the middle world is a realm of day-to-day reality and the playground of the living. It's the perfect moment where everything is happening, yet in the middle world is created by the future, not only the past, and it is a mirror of the invisible realms. When things are right in the middle world, heaven and earth support everything. When they are not right, heaven and earth must be brought into order as well. So the invitation is for the middle world is when conditions are favorable to your undertaking, do not hesitate, move forward. Heaven and earth are smiling on you. The world's your playground. And what would require great effort at another time can be accomplished with ease right now. And that sounds like that low-hanging fruit. So there's things that are
Yeah.
easy in the flow that are beckoning you. What's coming to mind for you?
Yeah, definitely like the world is your playground and that it doesn't require great effort as the old mindset pattern used to think.
Hmm.
And that realizing, I don't know if that's just with age or with awareness that um, everything that I do want can be done with ease,
Hmm.
not resistance or struggle or scarcity. You know,
Hmm.
having that mindset. So it's again just I feel like it's validating what I've been thinking to let me know, that I am on the right track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think, can I say something
go ahead.
about this? I think, and this is something I bring up a lot. The world is your playground. It brings to my mind the magic, what I call the magical child, that child
Mm,
within us that is not wounded, that is actually a guide for us. And when we
Hmm.
can be more playful with life, also, that's one of the, I think, things that make things easy. So that might be something to explore too, just allowing yourself to play and connecting with that part of yourself, which is so delightful. And I think I really think it's an important aspect of where we are right now, wanting to get to heaven as children, with that innocence and with that playfulness and wonder and all of those things. So just
Hmm.
something to consider.
oh yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with what you're saying because I get reminded that all the time. Don't take everything so serious. Have
Right.
Hmm.
fun.
Right. Yeah.
Play.
Yeah. Yeah. And there is that part in us that says, yeah, come on. Let's
Right.
do
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Would you like a message from Serenity, Archaea Serenity, Jacqueline?
Yes, I would love
Okay.
that.
Let me see what I can pick up here. So yes, dear one, the world is your playground. You can play free and easy if you choose. We know sometimes you have to uh, work a little harder and push a little harder, but that's very temporary. Let that go after you push the cart. Then just take a rest and play and look at what's around. What smells are there? What tastes are there? What sights are there? What sounds? It's all around you. It's happening now. And you can find so much in the moment if you open your eyes and open your heart, as I know you are doing. And you are a beautiful soul. And as you embrace yourself, your future becomes a much more beautiful one as you appreciate yourself even more. And we love you so much. Thank you.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Serenity.
Thank you, Serenity.
So, uh, uh, any other comments before we do a summary and then a next step?
Well, there might be records. You might, I don't know
Well,
if it is,
we're going to the records. Yeah, I forgot.
yeah, if
We're
it
going to go to the. Yeah,
inspired, that would be a possibility.
Yeah.
If
Let's
if
let's
if
go to
she
the records.
wants,
Yeah.
or connect
Would
Yeah.
you
more with the angel, whatever she wants to do.
would you like to go to the records now and take
Yeah.
a visitation there?
Yeah.
That makes total sense. Yeah. Yeah. There was so much already. Yeah, I forgot all about the records enveloped in all this. Yeah, thanks for reminding me, Jane. So let's go to the records. And have you visited the records before,
I have
Jacqueline?
not.
Okay. So the way we've done it in previous classes again is to find yourself in a quiet place and we escort you and you imagine yourself lifting up. You might see or sense yourself. I'll guide you through it. And there's an opening or a portal to get to the records. And you just trust that they will take you exactly there. Okay.
Okay.
So relaxing as you are now, and you can close your eyes and we can all support Jacqueline and maybe visit the records ourselves. And as she relaxes even more with every breath you take, your body relaxes and lets go even more. And you get to that perfect place of relaxation where all the muscles in your body relax and the cells are open and easy and gentle. And as you open up more, you begin to sense yourself lifting to a higher place. You may sense or see yourself going to, it could be a high mountain, a lofty place, a beautiful summit, and just allow yourself to rise higher and higher and let me know when you've arrived in this beautiful lofty summit or mountaintop place.
Okay, I'm there.
All right, excellent. Could you briefly describe what's it like for you there?
I can smell the pine trees. It's
Mm-hmm.
lush with beautiful pines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
It actually
wonderful.
feels like I'm in Transylvania with the beautiful lush mountains just full of trees,
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
bright, deep green pines.
Great. So with all those bright, deep green pines and lushness and beautiful smells, there is an opening. There's a portal somewhere, and you'll just easily find it that can take you up into your records. And if not, you can just imagine going up and having like a connection. It could be like a Jack and the Beanstalk or some kind of connecting way. Let me know when you connected with your portal.
I'm there.
Okay. What's the portal like, by the way?
It's like sparkly gold. Um, it looks like a rope, but it's not solid.
Hmm.
It's
Okay.
just like a beam of iridescent light.
Yeah.
And it's just I'm like circling up, going holding it,
Mm.
circling
Okay.
up.
So just allow yourself to go up exactly into the records right where you're supposed to be, and let me know as you arrive in your records.
I'm there.
Okay. What are the records like for you today?
The floor is like marble.
Yeah.
Um, it's a little dark in there.
Hmm.
The air is like completely still.
Yeah. And some people have readers or keepers there that help guide you. You might find uh, such a being there or not. Let me know if there's anyone kind of guiding you, helping guide you through your records.
I have someone like they're
Yes.
holding out their hand to guide me like towards the center of it,
Okay.
center of this room or wherever
Okay.
this.
So a person is directing you to the center of the room.
hmm
So what are you receiving there? What resource or understanding are you having about this weaving your new story? What are you picking up there in the records in the center of the room? What's occurring?
This is home.
Hmm.
She seems very delighted that I'm here.
Okay.
Um, your adventures are just beginning.
Yes. So is there something she wants to guide you to or show you to help you understand the serenity and the gathering in the middle world and weaving your new story?
I'm not quite sure. I mean, she's just there
Okay.
with me, looking at me.
Does she have something she wants to share with you or say to you or offer you?
Hmm, an apple.
Okay.
Okay, that's what just popped up right now is an apple.
Okay.
She's saying enjoy every little piece.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The sweetness, don't take it for granted.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And how is that for you, your experience there in the records?
It's beautiful. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, is there any furniture or books or anything there?
Yeah. Any other scenery?
it's really dark right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of shady,
Mm-hmm.
but I just see the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes, the whole back wall, because it's kind of roundish,
mhm.
like a U-ish
Mm-hmm.
shape.
Mm-hmm.
I'm imagining books. I'm seeing
Mhm.
books,
Yeah.
shelves and shelves and shelves.
I was curious also about where you said she said this is your home. I mean, I call mine my heavenly home. How does that feel to you as a home?
It feels like this has been, in like she was like the energy from her is that she's just been waiting for me to show up.
Yeah, beautiful.
And interesting enough, she says her name is Rockamy. Rockamy.
Hmm. Can you hear me? Philip just
Yes.
disappeared.
Yeah, I can hear
I'm
you.
still here. So don't worry. I don't know what happened, but anyhow, so you said
Mm,
she said her name is Rakami?
Rockamy.
Does that mean anything to you?
Mm-mm. I'm not
So
familiar with it.
is there anything you sense that anything else to do with the apple to eat it or take it with you or
She's wearing like those flowy dresses
mm-hmm.
during the like if she was from Greece from a long time ago,
Mm-hmm.
like a Greek goddess or something, the white, really
Mm-hmm.
white, flowy, and
Does
just
she know you from another time?
she said yes.
Mm-hmm. So is that something you could learn about at some point?
Yeah, I would love to.
Is there anything she wants to share about that now?
She says no in time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's fine.
She's walking around in circles around me.
Mm-hmm. Is that meaningful for something?
It just feels very welcoming.
Mm-hmm. So does that feel complete for now? Is there anything else to explore there?
No, I think it's complete for now.
Okay. Well, you could thank her and then just, well, Philip is back.
Yeah, that was
I can
strange.
just finish the process, Philip,
Yeah,
since
why don't you finish it?
yeah, yeah. So um we were just going to come back. She just thanked the being who's there called Rakami And now you can imagine just drifting back down that beautiful, you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned spiral light. I thought that was beautiful. I could feel it myself. Just down to the mountaintop and then back all the way down to where you're resting here and sitting and feeling your feet firmly on the floor, connected with the earth, wanting to be grounded, always grounding. And then breathing in lighter energy, more active energy, taking you back to your normal waking state. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Mm. Oh my gosh, that was so beautiful.
Oh, wonderful. Well, that's great for a first journey.
Yeah,
Oh,
excellent.
wow.
So it makes you want to come back, huh?
Yeah.
Well, once you know how to get there and when you get a sense of what that energy is, it's very easy to get back there, and there you already have things that you can be exploring. So that's
I know
great.
I gotta explore Transylvania. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah. So any other insights on the reading or the experience?
Just that it felt very welcoming, and you know how you guided it. I liked how, because I get to me determine what I'm feeling from it.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make
Right.
sense? Like, and I feel support. I felt completely supported in
Wonderful.
going through the whole process. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it is completely your process.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was a beautiful, I think a beautiful thing to experience. It felt that way to me. So does
Yeah.
that feel complete then for today?
Yeah. You know, if I'm on my own, I think, was it George that was talking about that went and did one-on-ones with himself, right? So,
Well, yeah,
so
you can. Yeah, yeah, of course. Do you have the Female Archangels book?
no, I do not. I don't have that one.
Yeah, yeah, you can still connect with the angel if you feel like it. And of course, you can always come back to the reading. Um, you can go back even also for where the cards were. Did you write down what the cards were?
Yes, I got
Yeah. Okay,
him.
so you've got everything you need there. Yeah, like George said, and it is interesting when you consider doing a reading yourself and doing one with a client. That happens to me a lot where I get more out of a reading for a day or two. I usually I try to stay with it until it feels complete because there's so much depth there. And you just can't do that with a client. If they have the cards, and of course they could explore it. And they can also return to just to get any more insights. It is what it is, but when you have the opportunity to take your next steps wherever that's going to take you, that's beautiful.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Jacqueline. Great. Any comments or questions on the demo? Very fairly extensive demo there.
Yeah, it's wonderful when we can do the whole process, all the
Yeah.
way from the
Yeah.
reading all the way to the records.
And one of the
Bonita
message,
has her hand up.
yeah, one of the message, yeah, about Jacqueline's reading is that gratitude of we can reweave our life when we start to appreciate what we have, which we often take for granted. Bonita.
I just wanted to say that Jacqueline, for your first time and never
Right.
doing that, that was really amazing of how, the information that you could get and then, be able to say, well, this is what it means to me and all of that.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that's great. And I will take a picture of that angel card and email it to you. Okay.
Thank you,
Along with the
Bonita.
info. Sure.
And as Bonita was saying, the more you do this, the better you get.
Yeah.
That's why this course
Yeah, it evolves.
is 12 weeks too, and it's one of 3 courses in our spiritual guide program because there's a lot to it. Jane and I are learning a lot all the time on this, or it's very profound.
Yeah, we've been going into the records for years, and it's not like after 12 weeks you're done either. It's what you're learning, and every time we return to it, I'm surprised with the depth of things. I did want to mention one more thing too about the apple. There might be something with an
Yes.
apple. You might want to just actually having an apple, or if
Yeah,
if that resonates with you, even
Oh,
eating it
okay.
and just experiencing
as
it
a
with,
reminder, like you
Mm,
may have apples around you. Apples may come up in your
yeah,
life. A lot of different synchronous things
yeah,
may
who
occur
knows what,
around apples.
yeah, might happen there.
okay.
Bonita?
That's why that David and Hope and I are taking it again and again because you do get more information and you go deeper and
Right.
just becomes, it's so fascinating.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
fascinating. I'm like, it definitely sparked something different for me. So,
Great.
yeah, this is great. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and you did really well. I mean, I think what Bonita said, everything there seemed to be very clear for you. And of course, not that there's nothing else to explore. That's not what I mean, but it seemed like you didn't get stuck anywhere, which was great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like it all just really flowed, the whole
it
thing.
did. That
So,
was
yeah,
great.
it's beautiful.
So, want to thank everyone for their attention. And Jane, you want to preview for the next class too? What's coming up for next week?
Yeah, so I'll be with you next week, and we've been using the Akashic Tarot and the Mystical Shaman for a couple weeks now, and of course now we have this one. This one, we're going to add our 4th deck next week, the Good Tarot. Which one of the good things about the Good Tarot is that it's an easy to read tarot deck. It's very simple. You don't really have to know anything about the tarot to be able to use it.
Yeah,
The
here it is.
messages
The
are
Good Tarot.
easy. People make a distinction like between and this I didn't understand at first, like the difference between tarot and oracle kind of is that the tarot cards have a certain meaning to each card. But I think that this one, although you can actually draw from the typical meaning, you don't have to know anything because the messages are so simple.
Yeah.
The images are were created by the same person who created the images on the Mystical Shaman. So those 2 decks are just incredibly beautiful together. If you find the Mystical Shaman beautiful, they're really just gorgeous together. And there's also kind of, to me, a thing like having used a lot of different decks, some decks just speak together or go together better. I think all 4 of these decks really resonate with each other. Like they seem to pick up on each other really well. And I just find them all a delight to work with. So we'll be going into the Good Tarot and just playing around, I think, I'm not sure exactly what we'll do. I always just figure it out as we go along sometimes, where we are with everything, and then continuing on. Also, it's part of it. We do the ones, we have the classes with both of us, and then we alternate the next one of us, and they're more experiential usually, although this obviously was was very experiential. But we'll go into doing different readings and things. So I think it will be fun. I'll have a good time, I'm sure. So you're
Great.
all invited.
I'll invite. Great being
Yes.
with everyone. Good job too. And look forward to connecting.